Codes are revolving, buyer preference are shifting, and in the middle of this is us, the youth. So that brings us to the topic of today, the role of the youth in shaping tomorrow's property market. So maybe I can just digress a little and tell you my story. So I'm a bright student, like really, really bright student, not to brag, but when I was in Form 4, things didn't go as planned, and I didn't get the grade I desired. So I really wanted to be a lawyer for the longest time because I'm so good at arguing. So my dad wanted me to go back to school, but then I couldn't see myself going back to school for a whole year. So I locked myself for a whole week and thought of the things that I could do that didn't require me to go back to school. So I wrote down what I thought was my personality. Thinking about it now, I'm like, that was really smart of me. Yeah, so I wrote down every personality I thought I had, and through that, of course, with the help of Google, looking for courses that are oriented around my personality. And I got a list of like 7 courses, and I started crossing them out, especially the things that I thought were easy or the market had been flooded. So I remained with real estate, and I didn't even know what it was at that time. So I told my dad, I have decided to go to UON and do real estate. So my dad asked me, who do I know who has done real estate? And I told him, I don't know anyone. So he told me I should do something to do with education or med or biomedical engineering, something that people know and they know that there's always employment. So for the first time in my life, I was so stubborn. And took me 3 months to convince him. But I'm glad he loosened up and he allowed me to pursue real estate. So after completing the course, after graduating, I got my employment immediately because one of my classmates, my current director, schooled with me. So because of my performance, because of how I carried myself, because of my resilience, because of my competitive nature in class, I was able to like stand out, and that's how I got my first job and my current. Yeah, so that's just a background of how I got to do real estate. And being in the field, I realized that it's not just about selling homes or buildings. It's rather about understanding people, knowing what your client wants, reading the market, and most importantly, staying ahead of the curve. So whether you're studying construction management, architecture, planning, quantity survey, real estate, you are preparing to solve real world problems. This is like, where will Kenyans' population live? How can we build affordably yet sustainable? What does a home look like for a Gen Z, for a Gen Alpha? Since this is the next occupants of these homes, and how can we as youth own part of the conversation and the market. So I'll go through an introduction, understanding the market, the property market. Youth at the center of market change, opportunities for the youth in the industry, practical steps for students, and a call to action. So I'll start with the introduction. So what is property market? Property market is also known as a real estate market, and this is a system where properties are bought, they are sold, they are rented, or they are developed. And we have different types of properties. These are residential, commercial, industrial. There's also special use. These are the schools, the hospitals, the religious centers. And the main participants are usually the buyers and the sellers, landlords and tenants, developers and contractors, realtors and brokers, and also the financiers. So why is this property market important? Why does it matter? It's because it drives the national economies, it affects quality of life, and it also shapes cities and towns. So how does this work? So this works when a developer buys land, they identify a land and they purchase it. And then a planner comes in to assess the zoning of this area. If the area is good for commercial, residential, mixed use development, what are the impacts? What are the social, environmental impacts? And does it align with the spatial development framework of the area? And then the surveyor comes in to map the land, put boundaries and everything. And then an architect design the buildings. And then there's the civil and structural engineer who check on the foundation, the column, the slabs, the drainage, the contractor, the quantity surveyor, the local authorities, and then now an agent comes in and markets or sells the unit, and then the buyer moves in or rents out. So this is basically the whole process in the construction industry, and every discipline is intertwined with the other. So I'll move to understanding the market. As I have said, the property market isn't just about the buildings. Rather, it's a system, it's a living system that includes the land, which is the starting point of value now, the residential, the commercial, and it's deeply connected to finance, law, technology, planning, construction, and lifestyle. So the key trends in Kenya, there's the urbanization, whereby cities are really growing faster. There's mixed use developments. You live, you work, and play in one place. And then there's the affordable housing, the Big Four agenda that has sparked reform and attention. There's the flexible housing models. Then there's the youth migration. So this is actually like your sandbox. So the youth are the center of market change. I believe that youth play a big role in property market. And like I have written there, you're not just participants, you are pioneers. You can be extra, you can be seen, and you can build boldly. The market isn't complete without the youth in it, because youth are innovators, they are our next developers and investors, they are our next urban influencers. So in terms of innovators, the prop tech, the youth can play a role in having apps for house hunting, And this currently we have Buy Rent, we have Property 24. So having such platforms will really move in the property market. Then the VR tours, this is something that is very innovative and can save on time, and also it is what interests people right now. Then the AI pricing tools, you can launch platforms. Then there's something called the blockchain, whereby when people are subdividing land, they can do it online, and then it's real-time updated for transparent land registration. There's crowdfunding platforms whereby you are in groups, and then you have new entries into real estate. You redefine real estate access. An example of a prop tech is when let's say in a year's time, the landlords might even be replaced by an app, whereby you can have an app that the tenant can just pay and it automates everything. So at least apps don't ask for rent via 5 missed calls. So such things can really move the property market. Youth as developers and investors, you can have youth-led investment clubs and circles. This is buying land as friends. You can start as small as you want. Yeah, you can start saving small. There's this money market fund called CSA-TUK. You can start saving there because it has really good rates. You start saving as a group, and then you can start flipping units. So yeah, youth as future developers and investors, you can start anywhere. And then there's designing houses that matches lifestyle shifts. These are the architects. You design houses that matches like what the youth want, because right now mostly the next people who are going to own houses are the Gen Zs, the Gen Alphas. So how you want it to be is like you can design it the way you want the future to be. If you are thinking of a green future, if you are thinking of mixed development, if you are thinking of my home needs to have a mechanized system whereby it just knows that I'm home at 5, so at 5 the music plays itself, the curtain draws, like lights open, like these are the things that as youth they can change tomorrow's property market, and then create affordable, innovative, and youth-driven spaces. And then there's youth as urban influencers, social media. Social media is everything right now. Housing tastes now are now shaped with TikTok and Instagram. The way people relate with content, the way it's not the same like before. Right now, people are keen on TikTok, people are keen on Instagram. It's not like before, whereby our parents were keen on Facebook and everything. So you have to be ahead of the trend. And then there's green living, champion walkability. Right now, our roads, they don't have NMT. This is non-motorized transport. So if you are a planner, if you are an engineer, and you desire that in future I'd want a road that has NMT facilities whereby cyclists have their own lanes, motorists have their own lanes, pedestrians can have their own lanes on highways. So you are the future. You can champion that, you can argue out your logic on that, and always like be bold with your with your actions, be bold with your ideas, and then educating and inspire through property content and visibility. If you're knowledgeable about something, don't be afraid to put it out there. Knowledge is key. So where you can inspire, no matter how young or old you are, visibility is very, very important. So the next one is the opportunities for youth in the industry. Those in real estate, ensure you build networks. Networks is everything, because real estate is very keen on referrals. You will close most deals with referrals. So build networks and don't burn bridges with people you meet along the way. And then master digital selling. This is, you define the buyer trends. You just check the buyer trends. Like right now, we have expatriates from abroad, and they normally like a certain type of housing. So you niche into that. So you have to ensure that you know the buyer trends and maximize on digital sales, because right now social media is everything. How you shoot your videos, how you package your description, how you market things is everything in this industry. For urban planners, that is influencing zoning regulations, designing policies, and also the transport system. These are the people who shape our cities. Don't be lured with bribes. Don't be quick to take shortcuts or bribes or anything. If you're pioneering something, go for it. Like, go for it. If you think that something is not right, stand by what you know, because you are the one who's shaping the city for us. Like right now, the way Nairobi is, it's so crowded, it's so disoriented. There's no proper outline on how things are running. And planners do a good job by creating nice plans, but now planning is political, and this is where politicians come in and everything. So whatever you know is right, stand for it, because you are planning for the people and you're shaping how your kids will come and enjoy the spaces that you planned for. For construction managers, as you lead site executions, manage timelines, budget, and quality. Ensure the on-site quality of everything is top tier. Like, ensure that the timelines, don't be African timer. Ensure the timelines are on point. Ensure the budgeting is straight. Ensure the quality is okay. Just stand out in whatever that you are doing. For the architect, in terms of design, future ready, inclusive and sustainable spaces. Reimagine spaces. Don't limit yourself to things that are known. Don't limit yourself to things that you are taught. Explore, and nothing is impossible unless you have tried it out and it didn't work. Yeah, you can curate these beautiful spaces. Don't limit yourself. If you can learn how to maneuver AutoCAD, if you can learn how to maneuver SketchUp, if you can learn how to maneuver these softwares, go for it. Be the best. Be the best in your line. For the quantity surveyor, managing costs, ensuring value and budget efficiency. These are the people who keep projects efficient and affordable. And then land surveyor, ensure legal land boundaries, the mapping. And then for the civil and structural engineer, delivering resilient infrastructure and housing system. All these are intertwined in property markets. property market cannot exist with only realtors. It cannot exist only with architects or planners. Everyone listed here plays a role in property market. And whether you draw plans, whether you pour concrete, whether you manage budgets, whether you sell homes or design experiences, your intellect, creativity, and visibility matter, because you are the one who directly shapes the built environment. You drive innovation, you drive the decision making in property market. So whatever you are doing, make sure you do it with resilience, with everything. You give it everything. So practical steps for students: stay informed, follow the trends, read reports, and attend expos. Ensure that whenever Sarit normally has different types of expos, you can be even with your student leaders, you can be checking the expos and attend them. Don't be timid. Yeah, and don't tell yourself that you're waiting till you're in final year or you're out of school. That is where you network, that is where you meet professionals. And then upskill yourself. Use of GIS, AutoCAD, ArchiCAD, Excel, digital marketing such as CapCut, Canva, negotiation skills. These are the things that should be on your fingertips, because they will help you be competitive out here. Because if you just rely on what you're being taught in school, there are some people who go an extra mile and do short courses that will give them extra papers, or there's people who will go out there and learn more softwares. So for you to be competitive out here, you have to have an upper hand, and then build your brand. What I normally tell people is take yourself as a brand. The way influencers have rate cards, the way they have built their names, even you as a youth, even you as a student, build your brand. You can start by posting your work. By the way, this work that you are doing in studios, the renderings, the assignments you're doing in studios, if you can be able to keep a copy of whatever you are doing, that will be really nice, because that will create your portfolio by the time you're done with school. This is something that we learned when we had already finished school. So if you can, make sure you keep your work. If you can have a copy of whatever you always do in class, make sure you have a copy of it. You build your portfolio as soon as now. You can decide to post your work. And then what is really important is dress for your dreams and show up like you belong. I normally tell my colleagues, whenever I interact with clients, sometimes clients cannot entrust you with a huge sum of money. Let's say if the house costs 500 million, how can the client trust you with it? And you aren't dressed as if you can afford that. You aren't dressed or composed enough as if you can live in such a house. So what I always do, I always encourage people, dress up no matter where you're going to, no matter who you're going to meet. Dress up for your dreams, whoever you want to be. Like, whoever you want to be in this life, whichever space you want to take, dress up for it. And it starts now. It doesn't start when you're done with school. It starts as early as now. And show up like you belong there. Don't be timid in these spaces. if you are in a space whereby people are having ideas on how to do something, and you know something that is off or something that will accelerate the process, or an innovative idea, show up like you belong on the table. Yeah. And then network like it's your job. The X-Space, the WhatsApp forums, the channels, network all the time. And then you can start hustling as soon as now, because I've realized the built environment isn't constricted like these other courses. So you can start your YouTube channel whereby you can showcase properties, you can educate people about what you are doing as a course. You can decide to be creative, either on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram. You can start as soon as now, and then designing spaces, offer drone footage if you are keen on IT and technology. And then you can invest with friends. Like I said before, you can decide to have a group where you can buy land, you can invest in a property, whatever it is, and then know the laws in your field of work, the Urban Areas and City Act, the Land Acts, the housing policies, the physical planning and land use acts, all those laws. Make sure that you know the laws in your field of work. That extra knowledge will take you a long way. You don't need a title to change the market. You just need to show up with intention. You can decide during your long holidays to go for attachments, even if it's not the official school attachments. You can decide to go and explore the market. And normally professionals are ready to accommodate students who are willing to put the effort to go a mile further and learn, So you can start as early as now. And then my last slide is a call to action. There's no glory in shrinking to fit into a system that was not built for you. You are here to expand and to own the stage. So to build the city that we all desire, to write the plan and manage the site, to tell the story. Nobody will ever scrutinize you for putting yourself out there. You have to back it up with excellence. Nobody will scrutinize you for being extra. If you want to be extra in school, if you want to be extra at work, if you want to be extra anywhere, no one will scrutinize you for that. Just be bold of yourself and, put your best foot forward and work for what you want your course to be. Like if you're a realtor and you are keen on client satisfaction, make sure you ask these clients, what do you want in a house? What are some of the things that you'd want, some of the things that you will not want? What is your budget? Where are the areas that you want to be? And make sure you curate only the properties that the client wants, because property market is all about the people. We always plan for the people. We always build for the people. We create space for people. So if people are not happy about their space, if they're not satisfied, if they don't yearn to go back home, then there's nothing that we are doing. So in whatever field that you are in, be the best that you can be. do the best that you can do, and always show up and go for the best. For me, I love luxury houses. I love poshy, elegant, and luxury houses. It is what I love selling more. And there's just that confidence that comes with it, because that is what I desire. It is the spaces that I'd wish for myself. When I see the interior designers have done a good job on the textures, on the colors, you know, you feel homely, you feel cozy, it feels inviting. These are the spaces that you desire for yourself. So I always say, if it's something that you cannot have for yourself, then why offer it to someone else? So as the youth in this industry, in this country, we have a big role in shaping the property market. We have a really big role in shaping the property market, because right now there are quacks everywhere. There are quacks everywhere. Just ensure you are, after you're done with school, if your course requires you to work under a registered professional for a couple of months or a couple of years, do that. And after that, go and do the board's exam or the interview and be registered in whatever course you do. Be an example, yeah, and be the best that you can be. Yeah, and as I end my session, I just have two questions. What skill do you already have that the industry needs? And the second question is, what's one bold step you'll take this year to show up in the property market in whatever field that you're in? So you can brainstorm on that, and I hope I met your expectations on whatever you are aspiring to hear from me.
Thank you very, very much, Joy. I'm looking at my notebook and I'm like, whoa, I have wisdom with me here. Uh, we have like around 2 minutes. So, is there anybody with a question to Joy? Yes, Zachary.
Okay, thanks for the chance again. Personally, I have like one question and maybe an addition laterwards. So my question goes to our guest today. First, thanks for the good insights, and I want to ask this question. Many young professions struggle not because of lack of passion. Remember, all of us here we have passion, but because of the limited exposure to the industry networks. That's why we are not much familiar with it. So, in your experience, how can youth actively create exposure, opportunity for themselves, even when they don't have strong family connections? Because some of the youths here, they're wondering how can they be where you are maybe without connection or industry rings. Thanks.
Okay, so first, I'll tell you, I didn't get my first job because of connections or because I knew someone who knew someone. So, like I said before, if you can do extra in school, people will notice. Either your classmates or your lecturers, they will notice. If you can be the best, if you're given assignments, like you go all out and you do it wholeheartedly. If there's presentations or anything, you take part in them. So for me, I got noticed by a classmate because of how I carried myself, because of how I did my work. And this is actually like the first option for you to get industrial experience without connection. That is personal branding. You have to brand yourself. And also, secondly, you can decide to use social media, showcasing your work, the insights, or whatever you are learning. So something like posting whatever you're doing, yeah, like writing a blog or a newsletter or a podcast. You can start there as well. And then after you have done that, you can approach maybe a realtor or someone in the professional industry. When they see that you have done something, they can give you a gig for shooting the houses or managing their social medias. And then what else? Yeah, now your work will speak for itself. And then you can also join groups like the ISK, AK, because they oftenly hold forums, mentorship events, site visits, and competitions. So you can also take part in them. And then it will actually show an initiative, and it will give you some visibility. And then also, let me ask, have you ever identified a farm and you have gone to them and asked them if you can volunteer or if someone there can mentor you? Zachary, that's a question posed to you as well.
Uh, excuse Joy, can you rewind your question?
I have asked if you
Yeah.
have ever approached a farm and asked them if you can volunteer or if
Yeah.
someone can mentor you there.
Yeah. I've approached there before Savo. I think you know Savo.
Savo residents.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And the feedback Savo gave me is that you must come like a group, and you must have mm, a registered group or a platform which they can give you the insight you could wish to learn from them.
But okay, Savo is for a developer. It's not like a real estate firm.
But what you can learn in the farm, you can learn as well at Savo. You remember, at the end of the day, we want to see, have you gained anything from the industry? That's very key for me.
Okay, but in real estate, there's more to just the sales that they do. There's also the management aspect of it, and also there's the commercial, there's residential, there's industrial, the malls, the warehouses. So what I'd advise is go for the farms, the companies. There's the one I come from, Trisums Investment. We'd be glad to mentor you. We'd be glad to walk you through um, the listings that we have. There's also Knight Frank, there's Palm Golding. There are a lot of farms in Nairobi who you can approach. So don't be discouraged just because one farm discouraged you or made it a tiresome process for you to gain knowledge. Yeah, let it not end there. You can literally come to us, you can approach another person, because like when you seem competitive out here, like some people are afraid to have competitors in the markets. So as for me, I have told you, we will be open to have you around, yes, and mentor you and everything, yes. But you do not need connections all the time. Your work can speak for you. The portfolios that you have in school can also speak for you, so that by the end of the 4 years, your CV is not a half a page. You'll have a whole portfolio to speak of your work. I hope I have answered your question.
Yeah.
Okay, asante. Good evening, everyone. Somebody confirm if I'm audible. Okay. Thank you for the invite. I never miss anything that is entailed towards, let me say, mentorship of some sort, for the sake of the students. I see familiar faces here. I can spot two or three of my current mentees, other two colleagues in the industry. So I think I'll not be shy to speak. Uh, so unfortunately, I had not. It has been a crazy week, and by the time Kevin was informing me, schedule was so tight, I was not able to prepare a presentation. So I hope where you are, you can note down, because I will speak uh, in rotation to the topic was given, which is trends in the modern industry and innovation and entrepreneurship in construction. But nevertheless, there's a presentation I made somewhere a while back, of which I want to share it here, because I'm sure it's also relevant. If the background noise is too much, let me know. Can you see my screen? Okay. So this is a presentation I made in Kenyatta University. The topic was more about outside the classroom experience. So from this, I will be speaking first. It's situational awareness for you as a student. Before now, we come to the industry context, because we need to be speaking the same language. What I'm going to say is not for you to sort of fantasize, but actually take it seriously and see it more of a possibility. Uh, so a novice, who knows what a novice is, or who a novice is? Who are good in English? Let me try pick a Luo name and don't embarrass your brothers. I can't see one. Is Kevin here? Your president. Or do you know the meaning of a novice? What is it? You sure? What does the dictionary say? Someone else? Violet Okwaro, who is a novice?
Uh, it's the opposite of what he said. It's someone who is inexperienced or is new to a new skill.
Yes, yes. I believe that's a more formative meaning. So this explains journey of a novice, and I broke it into assertion, action, credibility, and consistency. So assertion means you need to be aware of your current state. Why are you in this industry? What do you want? That is usually a very difficult question that students are able to answer, particularly second years and below. Below meaning second and first years. If you're in third year, you don't even understand your own course or profession in the field, you need to be more serious because you'll have no one to blame. And one way to know what you want is you spare some time, or there's a skill we call it attention to detail. You'll have to analyze the valuable activities that you spend your most of the resources on. And if it is something productive, then you capitalize on it. So if you are an architect, for instance, you spend more time in maybe rendering or photography or artwork by hand, or I'm also seeing some architects doing some sort of what is it called? Mm, Especially now on TikTok, now on the national face part of it, somebody does a whole model of a house using maybe string or something of the sort. Then thereafter, let us know you for us to check your competition. You see, if you're highly skilled and in the wrong place or you don't speak, that's a whole other problem. Again, you also build a network with others sharing that philosophy so that you're able to grow. Then the second thing, once you have identified what you want and you have answered the question why you in this industry, that's the first thing actually we ask for. I do run a mentorship program, and that is one of the first things that I ask, even during applications. Why in this industry? Then people are just can't answer that question to the extent that they go to AI to answer for them. Very terrible. A third year should be able to answer that question clearly. So, in action, as I said, is networking leads the way, and networking. I think for you as a student, networking is more about exposure more than it is about closing people because you have nothing to close. First, you see you're a student, you interface to actually accumulate knowledge. If you're lucky enough that you can accumulate knowledge and practice, and under the right circumstances, maybe you go faster. So this is also the time you know your audience. You don't go to events of fashion, events of whatever they are. You are a construction student. You have no business in loitering in theater halls where people are performing drama, or not unless you just want to spend an hour or two pulling out some steam when you see some funny moves. So this is also the time you work on your value proposition. Make sure you have what is needed as the other person will offer you what you want or expect. Being clear and precise. That's very important because even most of you when you ask for internship attachments, you have no idea what is going on. Mtu tu anauliza, you just come to an employer, you list your services. At the end of the day, you're not saying what exactly you can help them with. And you see, for them to take you on board, for them to train you is a whole other issue. And you need to also stop being worried about being a student. Be outside, spend more time outside the school. I tell my mentees, once you get to third year, you need to shift your mind off the campus. Assignments should be the last of your concerns. Exams should be the last of your concerns. You need to read, you need to attend classes. But when the lecturer leaves, you leave with them and go maybe to a site, go maybe to a serious trade fair or a talk, go maybe to a workshop, those which you are able to access. Uh, if you're a person who is vested in academia, then go to a library, go to a lab, those testing labs, etc. You see what is happening now outside the class because outside the class is not a place where you ask exams. It's where you invent your own exams and answer those questions. So credibility. One thing as a student is you don't have experience at all. Zero. Even what you have in attachment, most of the time it is taken that you are learning on a broader scale. So you need to have, I normally tell my guys to have somebody, they hunt down somebody, maybe you're an engineer, hunt a senior engineer or whichever engineer you find who you're able to learn from, then walk around with the person. Not even asking for a job. Wewe mwambie tu kuwe, used to call them from corn or something of the sort. So that you're able to meet clients, you're there, you do designs, you're there. So and that's how you start building your credibility. And that is the kind of person who can vouch for you. The day you have a client, ni mtu ukimwita aje kusaidia kwa negotiation hata delay. So you also need to develop ethics. The industry survives by trust, by integrity, by accountability. You don't see them. Maybe unaonanga watu wanaoshana, they get so far, they get quickly up, but it's a long term game. You also need to be worried about your current situation. If there's nothing you don't know that is developing outside the class, don't be pressured but worried. You work on what you can manage and also sort of regulate your ambition. You might want the big things, the best things, but if you don't have a clear map route, what exactly you are fetching, that's a whole disaster altogether. So also embrace the unique way of doing things differently. What your lecturer told you, what your father told you, you'll find the ground disagrees or shows you how to do it better. Shut your mouth, engage your brain, and listen to the new idea. Then you see if you don't agree with it, go to your old ways, and also respect the new ways until you'll still come to a line anyway at the end of the day. And finally, is consistency. We say if a shark does not swim, it drowns. So once you start on that ambition, once you start on that endeavor, you can't stop. From us, we say you stop when you're dead, and that is if you're an entrepreneur. So if you get tired, you will now embrace different approaches. And I'm sure you usually do that, especially when you're surviving in campus, maybe surviving exam times. Zile formation huwa zinapangwa hapo, kama Mwakenya imekataa kuingiana, kama zote zimekataa kuingiana, unaandika kwa ukuta. Now I usually ask myself, why don't you take that brain, that logic you have very much created to survive a nightmare of the topic on structures. formula umeona hiyo huwezi kumbuka tufanye nini, so by all means it has to be somewhere. Why don't you take that logic and now apply it to something much more sensitive? Because exams are just exams. It's not actually like a serious thing. Ni ile tu upate second upper, first class or whatever it is. They're just exams. It's not like not like a so big issue, and you will see once you're out of that classroom. So consistency, discipline is key, because without it you lose track and will never finish. When you get tired along the way, now back to point two, you need to have that network, that team that nyinyi wote mnasukumana pamoja. Now if you have the wrong guys, all of you are advances, so the project just dies from there. So at the end of the day, you must be coming from somewhere so that you can actually have the aggression to push on. So I think that was my sort of short intro, so that now we quickly align to what I'm about to say, because what I'm about to say has no presentation, just raw facts from my own experiences, my own interactions. And I'd like to point these two questions to a lady and a gentleman. I'll just pick the person who raises the hand first. So, who are some of the icons in this industry? You know, what can you admire and borrow from their story? So, somebody can raise their hands. I'll pick first come, first served. A boy and a girl, or should I say a man and a lady? You'll both answer those. You'll answer both of those questions, each of you. There are no ladies or men in the group. CSA-TUK, who is the admin? Yeah, pick another lady to answer that. Pick your a colleague to answer that. No, you both answer the same questions because your answers will be different. Sorry. Does Rachel confirm? She needs to confirm so that she's on standby. I didn't get. What is it specifically you admire? Okay. How did you reach that conclusion? Okay, let's hear from your colleague.
So for me, he's a QS and an author. He's Kenneth Guare. I don't know if you've heard of him. I've read his book, Principle of Measurement. And what I admire is the way he contributes to QS education?
You said what you admire is
Contribution to the QS education.
okay. So it's something that you will also is something that you're interested in to pursue in that line.
Yes.
You're sure?
Yes. Not full-time, part-time.
Okay. So now let me start with the second question, the second issue on innovation and entrepreneurship. Now going back to what I mentioned on assertion, you need to be somebody who is what I said, attention to details. You have to know what is happening around you, and to be clear, you see, everything is an opportunity. So you get onto site, unaona Kamau amesimama huko kwa kona, maybe the mixer for instance ameshinda akipiga kelele. And you see, this is how like concepts of ready mix came in place. Anapiga kelele, ratios zingiani, all those stories. So now you see like how can you sort of make a batch that you just come on site to fix. Unakuja unaona jamaa ameitishwa mawe from the quarry. You see they take a lot of time, and when you follow up, maybe they have to fetch trucks from somewhere else. That's also another business opportunity for the transport. Haya, unaenda unaona site they are removing formwork, they do it so recklessly. The marine boards are shattered all over. So let me ask a question here. Who has an idea? Hizi marine board huwa zinatolewa kwa site, what do they end up doing? Ama zinaenda kuchomwa? Can somebody enlighten the class? The marine boards that are expunged during formwork, what do you think happens to them? You see, let me call names now. Juliet Joy. How people quiet? If you don't know, it's good to say you don't know, so that you know today. JM Kariuki. Are you the one JM Kariuki we know of in history? Okay. Karis Boya.
Yes. Can you repeat your question?
The marine boats that are removed during formwork, what happens to them? What do you
Um,
think happens to them?
um, from my experience on site, they are always repurposed. Say if you
Yes,
like,
they are repurposed to an extent that they are not usable. So what happens after that?
that's one now I'm not sure. Maybe they sell it, they sell them. I'm not sure.
And I think you need to be observant. The next time you're walking to a furniture place, you'll see they use those marine boats to create coaches. Or some of them, if depending on the application that they're doing, they also use them to make these, what are they called? in a shipping offloading area, there are usually those crates that sort of package items. They also use there. So that is also a business opportunity that you can note from my end. Just be attentive on what is happening around. And from the works of the construction that are there, it's actually an area of so much opportunities. Now, uh, the other thing is, I've gone now the business minded side. Now there is you within the profession. Right now, there are architects who solely focus on visualization. So their work is only doing renders. They decided they partner with architects to do designs. They shift over to them for renders. The architects who went ahead to do something called reality capture. So I think you'll research and find that more about that. So you sort of it involves a lot of drone operations, and those guys earn very well. There's one called forgetting his first name, but one of his name is Babu on LinkedIn. I think if you type Babu, you'll find the account because it's quite an influential one. So for them, they actually sort of in creating the concept, they navigate the site from more of its surrounding, more of its other materials, more of its. They also try to blend it to the area, what we call vernacular architecture, and all that. There are also architects who particularly specialize in modeling. So they quit design, that's 2D drafting, they quit renders and all that. So their work is now creating models. I don't know if the architects here. So there is so much to also do within whatever case you're operating on. QSing, there are those who only focus on contracts alone. There are only those who focus on, actually, they build rates and sort of consult for contractors on that basis. There are those who their work is actually to, now on the other side of policy making, they're the ones who give those rules of tenders, they pre-qualify bidders and all that. There's somebody whose full-time job is that. Doesn't have to worry about preparing the queues, etc. And now for those who now were accommodated in other institutions, or sorry, sectors, like in finance, they are the ones who are used for mortgages, sort of valuation, rating, and all those things. Engineers, that is so wide. The engineers who actually also shifted to modeling, but modeling using software, not an actual design. There are those who went to join manufacturers, so they build around alternative materials. So kama ni we now use stone for construction, so they joined different manufacturers. Kama there is a company called On-Site ICF, they produce those insulated blocks, so they are the ones behind the production process, and many more like them. Kuna another one called Kwangu Kwako, not Kwangu Kwako. Also, Kwangu Kwako is one of them. I'm forgetting. Start Somewhere. The version is called Start Somewhere. So they build something called hollow twist blocks. And actually, one of the producers is an alumni of TUK. It's called Samson Tweka. He was a civil engineering student then, I think back in 2021 when he graduated. So you see, there's so much to do when it comes to innovation, even within your own industry, without running much. I tell my guys, you need to move away that you want to graduate, you run to site so that people see you're managing a whole 1 billion project, a whole mansionette. The days of racing, who does better renders, who does better designs, who does most organized queues, those ones don't matter much. At the end of the day, is also we can also discuss about putting food on the table, but it's also you challenging the status quo. So you need to pay attention to all of this. So I believe that a short context. Maybe I'm not able to touch a lot on. On real estate. I've seen it here. Mostly it is in Dubai, but I've seen a couple, 2 or 3 companies doing them. It's something called they integrate ER, is it extended reality. So there is the augmented and there is the virtual. So you are able to you purchase home through that system. You're going somewhere, you're able to choose your room, to choose your specs. I'm forgetting the name of the company which does that. So in that context, you have moved away from just posting houses on social media, telling people selling this, high yields. So your work is now on that other end. Yeah, so there is all that to do in the industry, and you need to find that out. You need to also interact more with people in the industry. That's how you learn until you come to find out what you want to do. If you want to go to end up inside the conventional way, because at the end of the day, that is the opportunity that came in first, then go for it. No one will judge you, no one will whatever it is. Now, in that context, it is easier for you that you as a student. Entrepreneurship is right, and that's how you grow until you come and open your own company. Leaving school and saying you're opening your own company is quite a tall order, but it's actually possible if kama mmeshikana, because the common scenario, if you ask around of the people who opened companies in school, utasikia alichukua architect, akachukua QS, akachukua engineer, then they agreed. But one challenge with that is usually you need to get the philosophy right. If you want to be commercial from the first day, you not go anywhere with your company. You not go anywhere at all. I'll tell you that as a fact. Unless maybe your father is the president to be giving you tenders, you'll go nowhere. And my philosophy for business, uh, opening, management, etc., is you build something around an idea, so that even the team are more focused on the why and not on the what. So, for instance, I've explained a lot of things here. We have a problem in our sector. There is no reliable data that people actually use on. The ones which are reliable are usually have a lot of gatekeeping. So you can be the first person to sort of compile. Like you see, they usually financial markets for those who read newspapers, particularly the Business Daily, because I usually read that one. Why don't you have viewers construction market? You say concrete is this way, steel is this way, and you can actually be earning from that, from suppliers, and actually you can actually be selling that information as it is. Uh, so it's more of centering the idea. Some will say, what problem are you solving? But what is, for me, I will say, what is it that you are actually, what is this philosophy you're actually building around an issue? So I hope you're getting my point there. That's the only way out of entrepreneurship. I'll tell you for a fact, you're right now maybe in 4th year. By luck, let me start from there. You found somebody who can a bungalow. By luck, actually they even paid you well. So unakimbia huko business registration service, nafungua kampuni, natishia watu huko, nawaambia this is my bungalow, you see I had a client. I will tell you that is the first project you'll be having in the next 3 years. It can easily end up that way. And you see, umeleta watu, umepata, let's say you began in 2021, umeleta watu, you got the project, let's assume, I'm going to say 2022 because it's now 3 years. You got the project in April, ukachapa kazi, kula vizuri sana, all the way, kazi ikaisha, let's say October. I'll tell you for a fact, from 2022 October to 2025 today, hakuna kazi utakuwa nayo, na ile yenye uko nayo until today, kazi ilikuwa, there is no work you've done, it is just kurushwa. That's how entrepreneurship is. So if your focus was money from day one, it's either you will have run mad by now, kwa sababu watu washaenda, they see no money there because you actually attracted them there because of money. They are gone. And the philosophy is also not there. But if it was around an idea, no season comes, you still have the faith of the idea. When the high season comes, that idea will keep the discipline so that you know a low season is coming again. That's how it works. And yeah, technically, that's what I will say about entrepreneurship. I don't want to tell you much because I don't want you to think it is such a big thing, such a small thing. Now from that, it is you to generate your storyline because everybody has a way that they operate. Kuna wale wa shortcut, your father is the president, all tenders from A to Z ni zako, sasa ni ukatae. So wewe kama niko huko, I don't think you should even be in this meeting. You're very lucky. Hiyo ni ile outlier once in a while. But also you need to remember, your father will be president, let's say 10 years. After that, your competitors will be attacking you from the 11th thing you've never seen. So you need to be also sort of self-reliant on that end. So I don't know, Kevin, have I captured the two topics so far, or there's anything you'd like me to add that maybe is not clarified from the two?
Okay, thank you, Kevin, for your question. So the first thing is you start as a connector. Build a brand on social media. Maybe you can start with you can maybe like approach a realtor or a company, and then you can be doing you can manage like the IG or TikTok or Instagram, and then like they give you like an incentive, and then you start saving, and also you can help them market their properties and agree on a commission, and then start saving slowly by slowly. Yeah, and then after a while you can decide to maybe get a studio and maybe furnish, turn it to a B&B. You're paying rent to the landlord, but also it's an investment opportunity for you as a B&B. Something else is you can decide to do it as a team. You can have like maybe 10 of your friends, and then you save collectively. You pull resources together, and then maybe you can decide to buy an off-plan property. And then normally off-plans go for an affordable price. And then let's say the likes of Savo. Savo normally studios go for 1.2, 1.5. So as a group, this is actually how Somalis do it. They do it as a group. They purchase a property, and then they sell the property, and then they get another one for another person. They sell like that and get a collective income. So as a group, you can decide to like save, and then get an off plan. After its completion, the price normally doubles up. So you might find that after completion, it goes for around 3 million. So you'll have that interest on top. So you can decide to next time buy 2 off plans and then sell it when it's completion. You can build your wealth like that. And then another thing is there's usually options of renting to own properties as well, if you'd want to invest. And also you can decide to start a blog, get money from it. Yeah, so you can start wherever you can and use whatever you have. You can also decide to write a good proposal to the bank to fund you. That's what some developers do. You write a good proposal, they build for you, and then they'll know how they'll acquire their money back. And then you can also like pitch the idea to your parents, yeah, if they can support as well. So you can literally start anywhere. I hope I have answered your question.
Thank you. So I have a question to Madam Joy. As a lady in this real estate industry, what are some of the challenges that you faced and how did you go about them? Or what can you advise us to do when we face the same challenges?
Okay, one of the challenges I have faced is especially being a lady and being soft spoken, being underestimated. So some people assume that maybe you are unexperienced or something, but normally what I do is I speak my mind. If let's say if I'm taking a client to a certain property and maybe they show that they don't like the property and there are some things that they wanted the property to have, I'll just be rational with them and give them my thoughts about it. Just be bold about it. Okay, this industry is real estate is full of quacks, sorry to say, but there are a lot of agents who haven't registered. They haven't been registered. So people will cut corners, they'll go behind your back. But what I have learned is for you to be safe, especially if you have a client and you are introducing them to, if you have a potential client, introducing them to a landlord or the owner of a property, do an email introducing your client. With that email, you can be able to trace back. So even if it's issues to do with commission, there's evidence that you introduce that client to the landowner, and you can be able to maneuver around that. Number two is I'm always sharp, and in terms of my dressing, you dress as if you own the place, because there are some properties, like there are some agents you meet, and then you might feel intimidated, or they might intimidate you based on how you're dressed. So what I do is I always dress to the occasion. I'd rather overdo than underdo in my dressing, and that actually gives me confidence to have the audacity to lay out whatever I want to say, to speak my mind. So I think the only challenge I have faced is being underestimated. Yeah, I don't think there's, yeah, and being shortcut when it comes to commissions. But with that, you can do emails, and then dress, be on point, keep time, and also have principles. If there are deals you can't do, if there are deals you can't take, and always be honest with your clients, be honest with the dealings that you have. Yeah, even if the client goes, and yeah, they'll always come back because you are trustworthy and you are blank with them. So I think that's the only challenge I have ever faced. But what I'd say is be bold, by the way. In this industry, you have to be bold. You have to go for what you want. Like for me, I told myself I love when clients are satisfied with the services I offer. So I'm always timely with what I do. I'm always timely, I'm always punctual, I'm always communicative. So these are the principles that keep you on top. So be bold, be like, keep your head high, don't let anyone intimidate you. You are your own brand, so no one can come to your space and disrupt what you know, or like what you're doing. You're the one who allows them or who won't allow them. So take charge of your space, and you can do anything. You can be the best realtor at your age. Yeah. So go out there and don't be timid. Yeah. No matter any challenge you face, be bold and know that you can do it. Yes.
Thank you very much, Joy. I hope you've been answered. I'll take the last question. Any person with a final question? Yes, Jacqueline.
I'm directing the question to Sir Patrick, and my question is like, what's the biggest challenge that faces the construction industry in today's world, and how the upcoming professionals or youths can solve the problem or the challenge?
I think, okay, this is my own opinion from my own observation. I would say lack of professionalism, and it's something we share, a view we share as nation because you guys are graduating to compete with quacks. Like now, I don't know if there's an interior designer here. If you log in on TikTok, you'll find watu tu mtu alikuwa fundi, unaona akipost an interior design job, ukifuatilia what they do, wanaenda tu naambia client weka hapa, weka slack light, weka recessed. Hata hakuna design inachorwa, kila kitu inafanyiwa kwa site, inachorewa tu hapo, and the guy does the whole job. Then you follow up, the guy calls himself design and build. So wewe ukija hapo na makaratasi yako eti design, try to tell the client I'm paying attention to the function, to the mood. They don't really mind. At the end of the day, what the fundi did, it will be catastrophic. But they don't care. So the solution to that is, you see, first for me, actually one of the reasons I ran the mentorship is to make sure you're aligned. How you will beat the quack, not you thinking that the government will jail them or will all be assassinated. So it is you posture yourself against the quack in a way that you still get the job. Because remember, at the end of the day, you're the professional. So it is you to move away from the conventional style of, if it is marketing yourself, if it is issuing your value proposition, that way it will be better. Even the mediocre buildings or mediocre projects we have public side of the government, they're also done by quacks. So you'll get to a point our whole civil infrastructure is a bunch of mediocrity. And the best way, and this can be a gap for you, you actually sort of, I don't know, maybe some of you in future will be interested in policy making or sort. You strive to make it a venue where only professionals will be able to sort of get work and actually inform the decisions of the sector. So for you, if you get a position to be in a policy space, if you get in a position to actually serve a client, you need to offer as much as possible so that the person knows that you are ahead of the other guy, and that builds a reputation. So in summary, there is no professionalism of how we do stuff, and that now boils to everything. Even corruption is in there. And the solution to that is you fix it at your own individual capacity. If you're given work, you deliver. If it's approaching the market, fine tune your value that it surpasses the one for a quack. And you see, even quacks, there are people we call professional quacks. So professional quacks, this is an example. An engineer doing architectural design, that is a professional quack. Or an engineer doing a bill of quantities, that is a professional quack. Is a quack of a QS. So there is those dynamics we encounter. I don't know if I've answered your question.
Yes, thank you.
So mine are just like to thank the CSA for this opportunity, and also thank you for everyone who was able to attend the session. I hope there was something that you took home. And my advice is take up your space, and don't be afraid. Be bold to speak up and step in. The property market is not complete without your voice, your vision, and your value. Thank you.
Same here. As a good opportunity, I look forward to others. What I will say, you need to get your foot in the industry as much as possible. Yeah, especially as I said, for 30 years and above, so that you understand what is going on in the ground. You don't bombard even your employees with a lot of theoretical stuff and such. You need to be aligned, and that's how you better the industry. Also, improve on your value proposition. It's too early for you to find a niche, but if you find it at the moment, just run away with it. Whatever happens will happen in the future. Thank you.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much, our speakers. Thank you very much, Miss Joy and CPM Patrick. As the CSA, we are very happy, and we share our great gratitude and sincere appreciation for what you have just impacted on us. As the CSA, I hope we've grabbed something, and through your experience and shared knowledge, I hope we are good, and it has sparked some of our dying faith, so that at least we got something. From this side, I'm really impressed with the kind of eloquency, resilience CPM Patrick has just shared out. And I hope someone too out there, the CPM member or any other student who get an opportunity to join the session has gotten something. For now, we wish you may your own lights continue shining your ways as you pave way for young professionals in the construction industry like us. We are very happy to have you today, and maybe next time if we got an opportunity again, we'll have time to share the same experience. And I hope you'll still see us with good eyes. We are very happy to hold you today. The members present, we are happy for showing up. For those who made it, and of course, I hope you've gotten something to hold on to. Maybe through this session, you have changed maybe some of your ways. Thank you very much, and let me take mic back to Mr. President Patrick.
I guess we can end the session. Just leave at their own pleasure. There are no refreshments for an online session.